I'm the minister at the church, Mary Clarina, at Weston and Teston in Vaughan. It's been a couple months now, maybe about 4. We've been helping out with the refugees and asylum seekers out that side. It just fell into our lap as we're coming out and soul winning, buying food, counseling, helping people, and we kind of noticed that, you know, they need a little bit more food, they need the shower, so it just went from picking them up, bringing them to church, you know, letting them use the facility to what it is today. Pardon my lateness. We went to council 2 days ago and we submitted a deputation again, and we got a hotel now for the refugees and asylum seekers that side for a month, but we wanted an extension. We got the extension 2 days ago, and today they've given us the day to give our budget, so they extended it for $4.3 million. It's in unison with the church, the Red Cross, York Region, and one other organization, COSTI. Now, this is important because in York Region we don't have the setup, the infrastructure that Toronto has. For example, the bridge funding, where it allows those who are staying in shelters to be able to get, I believe, is $150 a night, $250 if you're a family, put them in a hotel, motel, that type of thing. Such systems aren't there yet. They're working on it. And as a result, the church hasn't received any assistance or funding, so our generous parishioners have been coming together and doing what they could for the last couple of months, and they've been doing such an amazing job. So we've been asking the city, some of you may have seen us on the news, we purposely went and took all the seats out of our bus and put the asylum seekers in there for a moment when the news came, and then pulled them out just to get their attention, because people sleeping on the floor is not, it doesn't move anybody. They're having different health conditions. If I start getting into it, it'll be long. Sleeping on the concrete like that, it was a while that they were there until the cameras came, when some people started recording it and putting it on social media, and then, I'm sorry to say, it became kind of like a fashion to take in refugees and asylum seekers. Whether it's an organization, whether it's a church, everyone was coming and picking them up. But I came to find out what many people were doing is they were taking them to their place, then in the morning they were dropping them right back. No programs, no assistance, nothing like that. So we wanted to be a little bit different, though we don't have the infrastructure like Toronto. I'm from Toronto, I just live there now. We wanted to get Ontario Works involved, we wanted to get the medical team involved. Taibu has came out a few times to help out, and it just wasn't going good. So we tried our best to speak to all of those who were in power. On the federal level, our MP, which came and took a look and made a few promises and has not come back yet. On the provincial, the MPP, Mr. Tobolo has done quite a good job of connecting us with some people. And on the regional level, our mayor, who has not come on site yet. And we came to find out, some told us directly, some told us indirectly, that they don't want these people in the city. They don't want the African asylum seekers in Vaughan. We're told that directly, and also behind the scenes in the office. So there was a fire on the day that the mayor was supposed to come on site. He said it was an emergency. We found out it was a fire. He said the asylum seekers and refugees that were out in Vaughan, they were in the bushes or somewhere, and they ended up burning the whole place, and it was a very big fire. So the mayor left our appointment to go over there to attend to it. I don't know, mayors put out fires, so he went over there. And when he went over there, that was his excuse for not coming to our site. One of the councillors that is not too good with the mayor came and gave us some inside information after. And we're speaking. And he said that it wasn't the African refugees. And I said, it's true, it can't be. Number one, sorry to say, I'm from Ghana. East and West Africans, we don't really do this forest thing and hiking, and we don't do that. You hear that already? We don't do that. So that was the first red flags, and don't do that. I've camped one time in my life, and I'm surprised we're outside. I was down there for 10 minutes looking for the roof. We don't do that. Then, came to find out, Vaughan does have some people who are homeless, who they don't want to broadcast like that wonderful city. So it was actually the homeless people who were there that were not Africans that set the fire, and they pushed the narrative to help push their cause that the African asylum seekers are causing trouble. So these are a few things that we're facing, and I'm hoping that we'll be getting to some solutions as I learn from you and you learn from us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Isaac, for your amazing speech. So our last speaker is Reverend Alexa Gilmour, who worked relentlessly with the faith group, and she's really popular working on this housing crisis.
Oh my goodness, my high school geek self that used to be called Cootie Freak is delighted to be called popular. Thank you. I've been doing a lot of listening, and part of what I was asked to do was to hear as we went and to kind of help move us into the second half. About 4 or 5 months ago, the not-for-profit I had founded stopped, and that seemed like a bummer, but what it ended up doing was allow me to be available 24/7 with a lot of you, first at 129 Peter, trying to network people to resources, then up at the churches, trying to network people to each other. And I've met some incredible heroes, both in organizations, but also individuals. That baby shower was not me. It was Erica London, a woman from part of the Black Queens of Durham, who said, I hear there's moms, pregnant moms that can't be. And she said, I want to throw a baby shower. And she got in touch with me because she knew that I probably knew a few. I knew 6 pregnant women living in the shelters who all knew 1 pregnant woman. We had 23 pregnant women. And this is the part that I'm really interested in, is how do we do all the levels? Like, this incredible group of people, each one of you feels this call at a particular level. Whether you are fighting the systemic injustices, the racism that's happening, whether you are meeting the immediate needs because you know that mercy and justice have to go hand in hand. We have to feed people now, we have to house people now, as well as we cannot keep this going, right? This injustice, the difference that's already been talked about between the Ukrainians, between the Africans, cannot continue. But I also want to touch on another piece, and that is, and this part's hard for me. I have a newsletter that I put out to 200 faith leaders, and many of them are here, and they've answered the call, and they've come and supported. But when I said in the very first newsletter in July, we need shelters, we need churches to open their doors. And I said there's an example of that with the Black churches. Do you know how many of my white mainline churches opened up? Not one. So in a couple of weeks, there's an article coming out to my mainline church, which is the United Church of Canada, and it talks about that not only does the color of your skin determine where you sleep at night, but also who will come to your aid. And so there is a lot of conversations that we can be having, right? And the invitation, I think, tonight is that at the city level, right, we have a mayor who wants to enact that change. She does. She's told me personally she is impatient for this. She wants this. But we have bureaucracy and things that stop us. I have another email from someone at SSHA that says we can't do this. So, there are some of us in this group who know that that is where our fight is, right? And when we get together in this next little bit, we're going to talk about how to push that city, because they